Welcome back to another episode of Close to Broke. Today, we're joined with Christian, who's already taken a bad beat in an event today. We're going to be playing the tag team event with this gentleman here.
Hello.
Playing as in you'll be carrying me and it'll be great.
Well, he's already got a ton of money in this tournament that won't be out on YouTube for at least another 4.5 months approximately. If we're doing the math here, togetherly, that's worth, we are down 50, last 50 events we have in cash. 47 of them being his though, so.
We are on a complete downswing straight to hell. This tag team is gonna bail us the f out of this.
I think if we win this, we're still down though, so that's okay. But we get bracelets.
Yeah, we're here for the glory, not for anything else.
All right, well, let's go register this event. In this episode, as you guys are seeing, if you haven't figured it out already, we're playing the tag team event with Ethan. In this very first hand, and in the hands that Ethan's involved in, I have a pretty fun idea. How about we sweat it out, I block out his cards, and we kind of just play along and see what happens. In this very first hand, the cutoff raises to 1K at the 400, 200, 400 big blind ante level. The button calls. Ethan, our team, we're a tag team here, is in the big blind. He decides to make the call. Our range is going to be pretty wide here. We're getting a good price to call. Pretty much any two makes sense. Obviously not 7 deuce, 8-3, stuff like that, but pretty much any two, any connector, all Broadway cards. So we're going to go ahead and make the call here. We're going off to a flop that comes 10-8-6 with 2 spades. Immediately, I'd like to say that this is definitely going to be better for the button calling range and significantly better for the big blind calling range than it is for the cutoff opener on a board like this. Gonna go ahead and check here. Seems like that's what Ethan decides to do, which is outstanding. Surprisingly, it checks through, which is a good sign for us. We can have a lot of middling pairs here. We can have a lot of random top pairs. Obviously some flush draws, as we're gonna be calling pretty much every single suited combination from the big blind. We're going off to a turn card that comes a 4 of hearts. All right, at this point, Ethan decides to lead out for 2,500. Actually a pretty large sizing here. Going in the neighborhood of like 70-80% pot is pretty big. I think we can definitely be doing this with a combination of holdings, but I think we're going to be pretty balanced here. With the flush draw still out there, I like us going a little bit larger, de-incentivizing, if that's even a word, players to making loose calls. But more importantly, it's nice to do this with a hand like maybe 10-9 or 8-9, so some kind of a combo draw of sorts, or we can have a pair plus a straight draw or a gutter ball, something like that. We can still get value from worse, and again, we do block the nuts if need be. Anyways, we're going to be going off to a river card after the cutoff where the pre-flop raiser decides to make the call. That comes a 6, pairs the board, the flush draw misses, not great, but again, significantly better for our range. We can definitely have the 6-7, we can definitely have the 8-6 here from the big blind, as well as some combinations of 10-6 suited. Those are all of our value holdings. We can obviously have just flopped a straight somehow with like 9-7 suited, or, you know, whatever the combinations of those may be. But of course, we're going to be balanced here by having a ton of flush draws that break out on the river. We can definitely have pretty much all the flush draws, like, as we mentioned beforehand, and specifically ones that are like 5 high, we're probably going to want to be bluffing with on this river, or anything that has any kind of coordination to this board that could be blocking some big straights. Ethan decides to bet 8K, pretty much going the size of the pot here. Love the bet. It's going to be super balanced here. We're going to show up here with a bunch of bluffs. So by polarizing here, when we do have a big hand, we're going to get paid off a lot more and significantly more frequently. After a long bit of tanking, the opponent ends up making the call. And as you guys can see, Ethan flopped the nuts. 9-7, let's get it, baby. All right, that's a good start. Picking up a massive pot the very first hand we sit down to play. Starting stack was 20 or 30K or something like that, and we've already got heaps. Almost doubled up on the very first hand, and we're going to take that, baby. Let's go. Good job, Ethan. Okay, as things are progressing along, we haven't even played a full orbit, it feels like at this point, when we find our friend Ethan here in another pretty serious pot. Ethan is +1, makes it $1,100 to go. The hijack 3-bets to 3,300. The hijack does a very interesting character triple tabling as he's double dipping on the online World Series of Poker app, and brought his laptop, like 17-inch laptop, to the You get what I'm saying. If you've been to the World Series of Poker, you just know these people exist. Folds back to Ethan. Hopefully the laptop means that gentleman is 3-betting at the proper frequencies. Ethan's going to go ahead and make the call, sitting on about a 32k starting sec here at the 500, 300, 500 big blind ante level. We're going off to a flop that comes 9-6-4 rainbow. Okay, seems fairly harmless, and I don't know if it's that good for our range, as you know, at least we're gonna have some nut advantage. I doubt 9s are 3-betting here, probably gonna be in our range. We check it over to the opponent who decides to down bet at 3k. At this point is when things get a little interesting. Ethan decides to raise to 12,000 chips here. I like to raise quite a bit here. We're gonna get deny equity from a ton of holdings, as well as get called from, you know, a bunch of inferior holdings as well. Pocket 10s will call, ace king high will definitely call and PO at least one time considering our stack depth. But after quite a bit of tanking, and I think it's like a minute or two, our opponent decides to jam all in here. Having us covered, we only have about 20k behind. We've already invested too much in the pot. Whatever Ethan has with, it seems like it's fair enough for us to just go with it. We end up making the call here, and as you guys can see, we have pocket jacks. And Ethan and I joke about it, but it's unfortunate because nobody ever has a bluff, I feel like, and this is the case. Our opponent pretty quickly chose pocket queens. We're going off to a run out, looking for 2 outs and a dream at this point. This would be a great pot to put us over a really decent stack size, but unfortunately, c'est la vie. This tag team poker session concludes without me ever have playing a hand, but to be totally transparent and honest, I can't blame Ethan for anything that happened. We played like 2 hands, and we made the nuts in one of them, and we got cooler in the other one. I would have lost myself anyways, so it is what it is. At this point, the night is still young, and there's still another tournament to register, so I'm going to literally max late reg the online survivor thingy, whatever, the salute to warriors. So let's hop into that. Let's see if we can't spin up a stack in there. It feels like I haven't got to play a tournament hand yet, so I feel like I should go do that. So let's fast forward to that, hop over to that, and hopefully you guys can help me get some run good because we haven't bagged a single time this World Series. Okay, we're getting comfortable in our seat. We have just sat down to the table. Like I mentioned, we have max late registered this event. We just got back from dinner break, but we're here to make a splash. In this very first hand, the button makes it 5k. We're playing the 2k, 1k, 2k big blind ante level. I find myself in the big blind with queen 4 suited here. Not a great hand, but definitely good enough to jam here from the big blind. Hopefully the button's going to be wide enough opening this where he's going to have 10 highs, jack highs, and just pretty much quickly make the fold. I make the jam for 38k total. I think we started with like 40 or 50k in this tournament. Honestly, I can't even remember. But at this point, it is, you know, I feels fine. I have like 19 big blinds. Hopefully I can get this through. There's already a good amount of money in the middle. And that is not what it comes down to. Our opponent thinks about it for a quick second before inevitably making the call with ace-jack of spades. We're absolutely dominatrixed here, hoping to find a way out of this. We're going off to a flop that comes queen, deuce, deuce. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you're going to win tournaments, is just by getting luckier than your opponents in spots where it kind of lends itself to having the need to do that. The turn comes the 9 of diamonds, and the river comes the 5 of hearts. No harm, no foul for us, at least. We're going to end up making a massive double up here. Really needed that, as today's not gone so fair. And just like that, we have double starting stacks sitting on around 80k. Okay, things have not been going great for us by this point. I think we've raised and been 3-bet every single time we've tried to raise. And considering our stack size, I haven't had the opportunity to peel one. King, queen, ace, tens, hands like that. I feel like it's just best to make a pretty disciplined fold against 3-bets. That's pretty much what happens till we get to this next hand. Hijack makes it 4,000 chips to go. We're playing the 2k, 1k level still. I find myself in the big blind with ace 7 of diamonds here. I think that if I go all in, I have like 30 big blinds. The blind level literally just went up as this hand is starting. So in this specific hand, we only have like 30 big blinds, but in reality, the blind levels went up. We're sitting on like 22-ish big blinds, if I'm not mistaken. So if that's the case, I feel like I said, jamming would be a little too much of a punt. It'd be a little too big of a jam. So I end up making the call here. We're going off to a flop that comes jack, 6, deuce with 2 hearts and a club. Okay, not too bad. Obviously, we pick up ace high here, but this is not a board that's all that great for anybody in reality. So I check it over to my opponent. He down bets to 3k, 1.5 big blinds. I think that floating here is not bad. We don't have a backdoor that's credible, which is a little bit annoying, but we still have ace high, which is going to be good here a ton of the time. And if we make an ace, feels like that has a chance of being good as well. Same with our 7, to be quite frank. Either way, we end up making the call. We're going off to a turn card that comes the ace of spades. Bang. That's perfect. Exactly what we are looking for. Never have a lead on an ace though, so I'm going to go ahead and check it to my opponent. Our opponent decides to bet a little bit on the larger side, siding up here to 11k. I'm going to go ahead and just make the call here. Jamming would be, again, overplaying my hand. I only ever get called by better. So I end up making the call. We're going off to a river card that comes at jack. That's pretty frustrating. The jack of hearts just brings in the flush. It also brings in trips. And when I check it over to my opponent, he pretty quickly puts me all in. I have like 44k behind. That's good for somewhere in the neighborhood of like 15 big blinds if I make a pretty disciplined fold. I'm really frustrated with myself in the way I got on this river. If I don't even float the flop, I don't have to face this, massive river decision. Or if I just play bad poker and just jam the turn and just get it over with, I probably get all worse hands to fold that now have me beat on this river. Anyways, this is the longest tank I've been in for the entire World Series. I go deep into the tank before inevitably making the fold. I hope you guys are surprised with that. Folding top pair is not easy for me. And luckily enough, this was a pro player, and I'm not sure he was too willing or keen to let me know what's happening. But I kindly asked him what he had if he'd let me know for my vlog. And he did let me know that he had queen jack with the queen of hearts. So pretty important, and it didn't seem like a lie to me. At least, I'm happy that he was kind enough to tell me, and I'm happy I made a really good fold. And yeah, just feel like people aren't balanced enough in these bluff spots on the river. So I ended up making a tight fold and seemed to really give me a chance and give me life at this tournament anyways. Looking to really find a rebound here. Things today haven't gone in my way. If it was a tag team tournament or this thing, things are just not really falling in my favor for the most part. But we're looking on to the better side of life here. We find ourselves with around 44k starting stack at the 2.5 big blind level. We look down at pocket queens here from the hijack. Awesome. It's super important to have some, min clicks here with some strong hands, because otherwise you're just never going to be balanced here. So I'm going to go ahead and make this 5,000 to go. It folds over to the button, who decides to 3-bet me. Not a surprise here. I'm not exaggerating. We've been 3-bet every single time we've opened today. He makes it 19,000 to go. Folds all the way back to me. And finally, we have a situation where we can play back at a 3-bet. I end up jamming all in for 44k, and our opponent pretty quickly decides to make the call. And he shows queen jack of diamonds. Let's go. We finally got somebody in bad shape. The board run out comes out ace 8-5, ace 10. Finding a massive double up when we needed the most. Feels awesome. We've been in 3-bet to god dang all hell at this point. It's been ridiculous, but at least finally we have a really big hand and able to capitalize on it. Just like that, we find ourselves finally in the 90 to 100k stack level right now. Perfect, as it's good for somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 big blinds. We're going to take that every day of the week. Hopefully we can really spin this up and make this, go even further than previously. Okay, looking to spin things up here. This is a pretty exciting situation as we finally have some chips to battle with. Early position makes it 5k off of around 20 big blinds. Looking at about 50k stack here. I find myself in the small blind, and we look down at ace queen offsuit. Again, somebody playing effectively 20 big blinds every day of the week. This is just an all-in here. I'm going to go ahead and make the jam, having him covered. It folds back to him, and he pretty quickly makes a call, and he shows pocket jacks. We are here for a race. Let's hope this race comes in our favor. The flop comes 10-9-4, 2 diamonds and a spade here. Not looking great. The turn card comes to 10. We have 6 outs, and 6 outs only come to the river. That comes yet another 10. Well, yeah, that's not very good. Just like that, we lose somewhere in the neighborhood of 38,000, excuse me. Looking back at the notes, like I said, he had around 38,000, and I was sitting on about 52,000 myself. So we are left with fumes, pebbles, I guess, around 14,000 chips. Good for a couple big blinds, and let's hope we can spin this up. We've been in this spot before. We've spun it up before. Let's hope that falls in our way. Alrighty. Going on to this next hand. Early position just lost a massive all-in, and he's pretty heated as he had got unlucky. Anyways, he's sitting on about 3k starting stack. He goes all in for 1 big blind as the level has gone up to 3k big blind level. Anyways, I find myself in late position with Jack 6 of hearts. His range is going to be pretty wide, I guess, is for lack of better terms. And there's nearly, what, 12,000 free chips in the middle, at least dead money. And I'm sitting on around 25k starting stack. That's good for about 8 big blinds. Jack 6 suited is going to be at the nut bottom or even out of my jamming range, but I feel like for the most part, people are just overfolding in these instances. So I end up making the jam here from late position. I don't have to get through as many people. It folds over to the big blind, and he tanks for quite a bit of time before inevitably making the call. All right, looking like we're going to need to get some hearts here. The big blind shows queen, king offsuit. The early position player shows 9-7 off. We're going off to a flop that comes king 8-5. Yeah, not very good. Not pretty much nothing going for us. We're looking for some backdoor hearts. Turns a 5 of diamonds. We're absolutely drawing dead on the river. Once again is a 5 of spades. So a boat's going to be jack high and 9 high. Unfortunate for us, we could not get anything going in this tournament. Every time we ended up doubling up, things just didn't go in our favor. And just like that, a long day of busting comes to a close. Almost rightly so, but can't kill myself over it. We played, all right. You can only do so much. You got to win your flips to win these tournaments. So either way, gonna go ahead and chalk this one up for just another day in the World Series of Poker. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos. It means more to me than you know. Thank you so much to Ethan for having me on board his tag team partnership. It was an honor and a pleasure. That guy's like a good friend of mine, and it's an honor playing with him every time. Either way, let's throw it over to me in person. Let's see how the hell I feel after quite a debauchery of an event. Well, that is gonna bring another frustrating WSOP session to a close. Frustrating is almost used lightly at this point. The one saving grace to this episode is that our good buddy and friend Logan is running deep in the event, so I'll post whatever he did here. He ended up running, or he's running deep at least. I'm back home. I immediately after losing ended up deciding to get home, as that always feels better. Whenever you bust, it feels so nice to go to your actual home and hang out with your family. They make you feel better. I can't thank you guys enough for supporting these videos. The unbelievable success and growth of C2B is all credited to you guys, and as well as Mike, who's been helping editing these videos. Sure, I did like 90% of these videos. This help over this WSOP stretch has been it's been a heaven sent. So very thankful for the support we've gotten to this point. Nearly 19,000 subscribers. 19,000 of you freaking crazy animals have been here to really make this whole journey special. I'll see you guys Tuesday and Thursdays. As for the remainder of the World Series of Poker, those will be the upload dates. There's an insane live stream game that I go for 50% VPIP in it that you guys should be expecting next week, as well as the coveted main event episode. Hope to see you guys then. I appreciate you guys more than you guys will ever know. Have a wonderful day, and more importantly, stay happy, stay healthy, and run good at the tables, y'all. Deuces.